This lesson is on graphing systems of inequalities. So a system of inequalities is just when we have two inequalities that we're going to graph simultaneously and look at where their shaded regions overlap. So remember that if we have a less than or greater than sign, the boundary line is going to be dashed. And if it's less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, it'll be a solid line. We shade below for less than and above for greater than. So when you graph your inequalities, like these two here, the shaded region where they overlap is going to be where your solutions are. So any point within that region of overlap would be a solution because the solution will work for both inequalities. So let's look at some practice. The first thing we're going to have to do is get both of our inequalities in slope-intercept form. So that first one is going to be y is greater than or equal to 1/3 x plus 2. And the second one is going to be y is greater than negative 2x minus 5. So when I graph those, I'll start at the y-intercept. And I will use the slope. So this one would be negative 2/1. And that's going to be a dotted line. Now because y is greater than, I'm going to shade above. Now I can graph the other one. I'm going to start at the y-intercept. And I'm going to use the slope of 1/3. And that's going to be a solid line. And since y is greater than or equal to, I'm going to shade above the line. Now you'll see this area right here is where they overlap. So any points that occur inside that area will be considered solutions. So if I look at negative 5, 1, that's not a solution because it's not in our overlap area. Negative 2, 4 is a solution. 3, 3 is a solution because it lies on the solid line. 2, negative 1 is not a solution. And negative 4, 3 is not a solution because it's on the dotted line, so it's not included. And we'll do one more example before you practice. So that first inequality is going to be y is less than 2/3 x minus 1. And I can graph that. So up 2/3. And that's going to be a dotted line. And since y is less than, I'm going to shade below. Now x is less than 3 is just going to be like this. And because it's less than, I'm going to shade to the left. And our overlapping area is this area right here. So any points that occur in that area are going to be solutions to this system. So negative 2, negative 1 is not a solution. 1, negative 2 is a solution. 3, 1 is not a solution because it's on a dotted line. 2, negative 5, oh, I'm sorry, it goes right here, is a solution. And 3, 5 is not a solution. Now I want you to try these two on your own, and then we'll go over them. All right, so first we can look at this example here. We're going to have y is greater than 1/4 x minus 2. And y is less than or equal to negative x plus 3. So positive 3, a slope of negative 1. And that's going to be a solid line. And y is less than or equal to, so I'm going to shade below the line. My other line, I'm going to come to negative 2. And my slope is 1/4. And that's going to be a dotted line. And y is greater than, so I'm going to shade above. And our overlapped area is going to be this area right here. So if I'm looking at points that could be solutions, negative 3, 1 can be a solution. Negative 1, 4 is on the solid line, so it can be a solution. 3, 0, also on the solid line. 0, negative 2 is on the dotted line, so it cannot. And 2, negative 4 is not a solution. Looking at the next one, we've got y is greater than negative 5/2x plus 4. So when I graph that, I'm going to start at the y-intercept, come down 5 and over 2. And that's going to be a dotted line. And y is greater than, so I'm going to shade above it. And y is less than or equal to 4. I'm going to come over to 4 on the y-axis. That's going to be a solid line. And y is less than, so I'm going to shade below. So my overlapped area is this area right here. So if I'm looking at negative 1, negative 3, it's not a solution. Negative 3, 4, not a solution. 2, 2 will work. 4, negative 6 is on the dotted line, so it will not work. And 4, 0 is within the area, so it will work.